Greetings. Welcome to this webinar conducted by the School of Business and Management, Christ deemed to be University. I am Professor Sirish and I'll be the moderator for today's webinar. I consider it an honor and privilege to introduce Dr. Venkat Shivagyanam, the speaker today. Dr. Venkat has an engineering background and was awarded a PhD degree by the Swiss Federal Institute of Technology in Lausanne for his interdisciplinary research on cancer diagnostics using microfluidic systems. Dr. Venkat has 15 plus years of international work experience. He has extensive hands-on experience in people and project management, in leadership roles, R&D, business development across various industries, namely academia, pharma, diagnostics, and life sciences. He is a certified success and transformation coach, and his vision is to empower individuals and organizations to transform and achieve holistic success by helping them to understand and leverage the power and potential of human minds. Dr. Venkat will be speaking on the topic, Unleash Your Mind Power for Unlimited Success. Over to you, sir.
Okay, thank you so much, Professor Sirish. It gives me a lot of privilege to be, part of this great session and part of this great university, which is Christ University. So thanks to the Christ University management and the management school, including Professor Jivanand and other people, Dr. Kavita, Sirish sir, and Jose, for inviting me here for this presentation. There is only 50 minutes time. There's a lot to cover, so I will be little speeding up on certain aspects, but most important aspects definitely I will cover with clear attention. So my request to you from my side is, I've spent close to 8-9 hours in working on this presentation. My request for this 50 minutes, if you could put aside your mobile and other distractions, so the value you would derive from this seminar could be much more than, or webinar could be much more than what you would have expected. With this note, so I jump into the session. The topic, as you can see, Unleash Your Mind Power for Unlimited Success. So definitely, a human mind has unlimited potential. So we are going to speak more on that. One second, as usual, I'm trying to move the slides. If the technology is helping me, it's all good. So I will skip these slides. Let us get into the content. So I'm having a couple of questions for you. Okay, so if you could just think through, I know it is a session where I am not going to ask you for answer in chat given the time, short timelines, short timings, but you could really reflect on these questions. So why one man is a great success, whereas another one is abject failure? Why few people are so successful? One man always tops in the class but fails in life. Certain instances. I'm not talking about I'm always speaking, giving you some exceptions as well. So don't take it just like that. Take it with a pinch of salt when I ask these questions, because a person like Google CEO today, who is Sundar Pichai, is definitely IIT passed out. So definitely knowledge will empower you, no doubt. But at the same time, you would have seen where people who are topping in the class, sitting always in the first bench, still would have failed in the class, failed in the life. Whereas it would be exactly opposite for those people who might have been written off by the universities sometimes to become extremely successful as well. So one man is always broke, another is always wealthy, one is always healthy, but the few others you might see always sick and complaining. For example, now we are going through such a difficult situation, pandemic situation. Even if you take a very difficult industry, let's take any manufacturing industry, automobile industry, totally under stress. But believe me, always within the same company, there will be few salespeople who are superstars. In spite of this pandemic situation, they are making huge number of sales, whereas their other colleagues are complaining, oh, there is pandemic, I'm not able to work, the situation is bad. So why? Why we always see such things? And 96% of the wealth in the world is owned by just 1% of the people. So my question is, what makes some people more successful than others? So usually I ask this question and request for people to type in. Maybe you can start to think what could be the potential answers. So some of you would say, oh, it's because they are very focused. Some of you would say determined, persistence, or they don't give up, all this kind of answers. To be honest, all the answers that you provide are all good answers, but beyond that, in the next slide, you will see what makes people successful. These are the master keys for success. One is that they have understood the power of their subconscious mind, what subconscious mind is and what it can do for them, and what is its potential, so on and so forth, and the principles of success. So if you have clarity on these two, definitely, whoever you may be today, in whichever place you are today, if you want to go from point A to point B, which is according to you, point B is a great, place to be in, you will achieve that. There is no doubt about it. Only thing you need is a little bit of clarity on what are these things. So we are going to go a little bit in depth on these subjects today. So since it's about subconscious mind, let's talk about the power of our mind. Somebody rightly pointed out that the mind can be a man's best friend and man's worst enemy. If I have to give an analogy, think of some rusted pipe, right? Iron pipe which is rusted, and on the next place the same iron pipe, unrusted with nice silvery finish. Same iron, but one is rusted, one is not. Similarly, we all have the similar kind of minds, but depending on the mindset, we can become very rusty in terms of what we want to have in life. So basically, that is just about the mindset and the mind. So now here, there are a lot of studies which have come out which says that a human potential in terms of mind power is enormous, but whereas we are just using up to 10%. Okay, and this gentleman, after he passed away, Albert Einstein, the great scientist, one of the greatest scientists ever we had in this earth, even he used to have that is what the research and the articles speak about, 5% of his mind power. So if that is the case, why this is so? You know why? Because number one, again the same thing, a lot of people don't have the knowledge about the mind itself and how to utilize that as a tool to enhance their lives and others' lives and the society in general. So it's basically simply because ignorance of mind. You go to colleges, you go to universities, you will learn mathematics, you will learn marketing, you will learn so many subjects, but very few people or very few universities would teach about mind, and even if they would teach, it would be restricted to psychology course or psychiatric course. Even in that course, the mind is only seen as a tool of disease and how to fix that, rather than helping people from the basics to understand what is that all about and what is the power it holds, so that they can harness the potential of it, as I rightly put it in the topic, to unleash the mind power to achieve unlimited success. Okay, so what is mind, right? So our brain is like a hardware. I'm just giving you an analogy so that you can really keep it at the back of your mind. So if you think your brain is a hardware, there is something called a mind, which is a software. Without a software, obviously you are not going to be able to use the brain. So it becomes like it goes hand in hand. They complement each other. So mind is critical. The software is one which you can change. The software is the one which provides the operating system. If I have to even give you another analogy, imagine a small baby which was just born. It has no mind of its own, right? Because it is just born. And brain is there, it can't think, but there is an innate intelligence. When it requires milk, it cries. When you feed it, it sleeps. Still the heart is pumping, everything is going on. So how it is possible? The only thing is the baby has no developed conscious mind, but the baby still has a subconscious mind. If that subconscious mind is not there, then the heart is not going to beat, the kidney is not going to function. So there is within your body, which is an innate intelligence, which you can also call it a subconscious mind, which takes care of all the functionalities which is taking place. If I ask you the question today, are you beating your heart or is it happening by itself? If I give you a chance to take your heart in your hands for 2 minutes, consciously make it to beat like a pump without non-stop for 1 minute, believe me, how many of us would be alive? I do not know. Thank God there is a subconscious mind where there is an inbuilt program, and this subconscious mind is connected to something, you call it as God or source or higher energy, which has its own higher order intelligence and powers all of us in the right way. And such a powerful thing, and we are gifted with that. So our mind is a software, and how many layers of mind, which typically mind has? I can say there are multiple layers, but typically in everybody's mind, conscious and subconscious are the main layers. It is like a iceberg. Conscious mind is what you see at the top. Just a small bit of it is what you can see. Whereas the icebergs, the biggest part is definitely lying, lurking much deeper under the sea. If a Titanic ship is going around it, obviously, if the captain doesn't know the deep inside part, obviously they are going to get into an accident. Similarly, we people with such a huge possibility called subconscious mind, it is like a double-edged sword. You can use it for surgery and save a person. It can be also a knife which can murder a person if you know how not to use it, if you know how to use it or how not to use it. So the conscious mind is a very small portion. It has only 10% of power. The biggest power is lurking with the subconscious mind. So you need to know what are the key differences between conscious mind and subconscious mind. Only 10% powerful, conscious, I told, whereas subconscious is 90% powerful. Conscious mind works only when you're awake, right? Whereas subconscious mind can keep on functioning throughout the day, 24/7, non-stop. That's also the reason where you get the dreams. That's also the reason where your heart is still beating when you're sleeping. It takes care of everything for you like a clockwork. And the conscious mind sets goals, whereas subconscious mind achieves goals. Okay, and the conscious mind can think, whereas subconscious mind cannot think, because whatever you say, uh, um, again, I'm giving you an example of newborn baby. Okay, a newborn baby is not going to think about anything. If it has natural instincts to ask for something, it cries. And that's it, because it has no conscious mind on its own to think about something. Everything is natural. But as the baby grows and becomes 14 years old, during the 14 years, the child accumulates a lot of experiences from the family, parents, the teachers, the society, so on and so forth. Then it becomes a mind, conscious mind. And from that point onwards, the conscious mind can start influencing the subconscious mind through the thoughts it is having. For example, a newborn baby, I have seen children, very small babies, playing with cockroaches. For you, a cockroach would look like an annoying creature. But for a baby, for the newborn, when there is no conscious mind, has no memory of what cockroach is, for it, everything is fine. That's why we call a baby a god, right? Because it is directly linked with the subconscious mind to the source. So it is playing, and suddenly the mother looks at it, and actually the mother is afraid of cockroach, not the baby, and the mother screams, "Wow!" squeaking. The baby looks at the mother for a second, confused and perplexed, and it thinks something is going wrong. Obviously, it associates something is wrong with the cockroach in hand, throws it away, and it starts to cry. From the second time onwards, when it sees the cockroach, it will not want to touch, because it is reminded of the mother's cry and squeaky sound. So that's how the mind starts to develop, accumulating the experiences slowly, 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 and the subconscious mind becomes the dustbin or a good bin, depending on what you put inside, with all the layers of experiences which you have accumulated over a period of time. So here the conscious mind plays a role like a gatekeeper. So it will say what needs to go inside and what not to. For example, you want to buy a Benz car, okay, and it costs you 50 lakh rupees today, but your salary is just 1 lakh rupees in a year. The conscious mind immediately say, oh, look, do you think you can buy a Benz car? Don't even dream about that. Whereas the subconscious mind, it doesn't care whether it is doable or not doable. As long as it is fed with an information, it simply takes it in the face value. It will not think about it. But the problem is the conscious mind. It will do too much of analysis, logic, everything, and it will not let that information even to go inside the subconscious mind. But if the subconscious mind could receive it with total belief, it can make things happen for you, because you are directly connected with the source. So another difference between a conscious mind and subconscious mind is conscious mind is logical. It does analysis. It will make decisions. It will take decisions. It will critically, analyze things, all these things. Whereas subconscious is a creative mind. It's a free-flowing mind. So, for example, poets, innovators, all these kind of people have creative mind. We also have creative mind. Every one of us, engineer, innovators. But how much we are using it, it depends on how much we are letting it to flow, or how much we are able to tap it. So when you are in a relaxed state of mind, many of you would have realized that you are also kind of a poet, right? Some words flow, you feel so good. So when you are happy and relaxed, the conscious mind shuts down. That's where meditation, prayer, going to the temples and churches, all these things, it's very helpful in a way because it helps you to calm down. When you're calmed down, what does it mean? It means your conscious mind, conscious thoughts, which are running all the time, it's shut. The moment that is shut, your subconscious mind is just in the free flow. That's where a lot of natural ideas, good ideas, interesting poems and writings and artistic works, these kind of things come up. Many times we are so occupied with the conscious, we do not even be able to understand the potential of subconscious mind. I can give you a few examples how creativity works. For example, it can work through dreams. It can work through by attracting certain people and situations in your life. I can take a simple example like a benzene structure. It's a chemistry structure which is like a ring shape. The guy who was the scientist who invented the structure, benzene, he was really breaking his head every day, asking one question: what is the structure of benzene? I'm not able to get the structure right. Then he's asking, but then he goes to sleep. One day he gets a nice dream where a snake trying to eat its own tail. Okay, it means like a circle. And then he realizes in a speck of second, oh my goodness, this is the structure of benzene because there is one pi electron which is circulating and it is making a round structure. That's why the benzene structure comes like a round structure or hexagon. Similarly, a person who invents, let's say, what is his name, who invented, another example could be a sewing machine. Okay, so you know the sewing needle, right? In a needle at the bottom, there is a small hole for the thread. You put the thread and then you can sew with your fingers, right? Whereas in a machine, he was trying to put the sewing needle, but in the head, the sewing needle's back end has to be attached. If the back has to be attached, then the hole cannot incorporate the needles, the hole cannot incorporate the thread. So there is a challenge for him now to innovate or invent a machine which can sew, but at the same time, he has to change certain things so that he can sew with the machine. He thinks about it for quite many days or quite many months. He couldn't succeed. One day in his dreams, he sees somebody there with a spear in hand, right? Trying to force him or running behind him to kill him in a forest. And the spear, in the front, there is a sharp part of the spear. There is a hole with a rope inside it. And the man looks at it and immediately gets a glimpse. Oh my goodness, why don't I try, instead of having a sewing needle with a hole at the back, but in the front, and I attach the back of it to the machine's head, which will be attached to a motor. And then he does it, it works. So there are several such examples, not only from dreams, also from looking at people's behavior. For example, there was a man who invented the diesel engine. He put all the parts together, but still only one problem for him. The flow of engine fuel inside the chamber is really like dropping. That drop is not able to catch fire, so that only if it catches fire, the combustion happens and the engine can start moving, the piston can start moving. So he was breaking his head. One day, again, all these things are example how the subconscious mind can give you a wonderful solution. One day he was just relaxed, sitting in his home. He was about to leave for some program or function, and his wife takes a deodorant spray and sprays, and then he looks at the deodorant spray. Immediately he catches the idea that I need a nozzle like the deodorant nozzle to be put inside the engine so that when it sprays, it becomes easy for it to be combustible. That's it. And he got the solution. So I can go on and go on with such examples, but just you to understand the subconscious mind in a relaxed state of feeling, it has wonderful energy. And by the way, most of the people feel relaxed at home or at office, especially in one room. And it is not bedroom or it is not hall or something, it is bathroom, right? Often people, when they get into bathroom, they become wonderful singers, naturally creative. When they are in the toilets, in the commode, they get wonderful ideas in the morning. So imagine these are best places to have a notebook, a small pocket notebook, where you can make note of your ideas. These ideas will not last forever, including the dream ideas which you may get, because it is directly coming from your subconscious mind and it is very valuable. Okay, so here another analogy. The conscious mind is like a gardener and subconscious mind is like a fertile land. So the gardener, whatever he sows in the garden, right, depending on the seed sown, the plants will germinate and you get that kind of fruits from that plant. Similarly, whatever you put inside, if the gardener is the conscious mind, if you consciously seed the thoughts in the subconscious mind, the good ones, it is going to germinate and give you good results. But if you put all the negative kind of thoughts and negative emotions and anger and frustration and complaints, these kind of things, disbelief, obviously you are only going to reap those kind of results, because subconscious mind, as I told, it has no brain of its own, no mind of its own. Whatever you say, it will believe. Depending on your belief, it will make things to happen. And what are the ways you can see it in the subconscious mind? It's nothing but thoughts, words, images, and feelings. What is your mind basically? The mind is nothing but these four things together. What you can think, what are the words, the chit chatter that is going on in your brain or in your mind when you're closing your eyes or simply sitting, and what are the images that you're getting often in your mind, and the kind of feelings that you have inside, the emotions. So these four things together makes your mind. And these are the seeds that you're constantly sowing your subconscious mind. As you sow, so you reap. So the moment you keep sowing all these kind of things in the subconscious mind, slowly from subconscious mind, there are a lot of thoughts which are going to emerge, and then it comes to the conscious mind. And each time the conscious mind picks up these thoughts, it will ruminate on these thoughts. If it is a negative thought, everywhere you are looking now, what news? Pandemic news, corona, people are dying, that, this. Remember that media is a very powerful tool where it can completely obliterate or kill your conscious mind, because when you go to a TV channel, you open your eyes wide like this, and your conscious mind shuts off completely, and you listen to whatever the media guy says, and your subconscious mind, because conscious mind is not filtering anything too much, everything goes inside. All this negativity gets dumped in. That's where I try my best to avoid any kind of negative media. Of course, the world is going through a difficult situation, but look at the positive side of things. So many good things. I'm able to spend my time with my family now. I'm working from home now. I'm able to take care of myself better, going for more walks, reduce time. The environment is getting better. Of course, some people are dying. I'm sorry about that to know that, but remember that I could say that a lot of people who could have otherwise died in an accident, they are safe today because of corona. They are sitting inside homes. They are not traveling outside. The number of accidental cases and deaths is much, much, much larger than you can imagine compared to the corona cases that you can know. So there are a lot of positive things. And imagine corona made people to rethink about their life, restart. And today I'm able to connect with you in webinar, thanks to Christ University, professors, that all these things would not have happened without this. So what kind of thoughts and words and images and feeling you're putting inside, constantly thinking and chatter inside your mind, it's going to affect you. And believe me, the feelings are the ones which are sending the vibrations, and vibrations are very, very important. You are a human being, but you are also a fundamentally an energy thing. If you constantly think and ruminate on thoughts, whether it's negative or positive, you know that the conscious mind can take out a lot of energy, then you feel drained for the day. Whereas subconscious mind is not like that. You can be in a relaxed state, automatically a lot of work will get done, and that's the beauty of subconscious mind, because it has infinite potential. So if your thoughts are positive, at least your conscious mind feels good, elated, and will try to take more and more actions, and you move towards your goal. But if your subconscious mind is constantly being dumped with negative thoughts, then it is going to feed your conscious mind with those kind of thoughts. Then conscious mind keeps on thinking about this. It becomes a vicious circle, and it affects a human life. When it becomes a vicious circle or a virtuous circle, that is nothing but the karmic pattern. That is what we call as karmic cycle. Nothing but karma is nothing but your actions, your thoughts, your seeds that you are sown in, which constantly makes your life to run in circles. The another analogy about conscious mind, subconscious mind is, conscious mind is your Aladdin, subconscious mind is your genie. You know the story of Aladdin and genie. The genie says, Master Aladdin, your wish is my command, because the subconscious mind is always ready to make things happen for you. If I have to give another analogy, in Ramayana, it's a great epic. There was a character called Hanuman. Hanumanji is like a monkey god in our epic. Where he will be like a genie, and Aladdin is like Ram. He will be like a complete disciple of Lord Ram, and whatever Lord Ram demands or asks from him, he will say, I will do it for you, whatever it may take. And once the Lord Ram was asking for some herbs to cure his diseases or his brother's disease or something like that. And these herbs are available in Himalayas. Can you fetch that for me? He goes. He is a genie, right? He is like a subconscious mind, very powerful. And once the command is given, he flies. He goes and he tries to bring that, searches for that everywhere in the Himalayas, but he couldn't figure out which is the right herb. But he knows that it is in a particular mountain. And suddenly he reminds himself, my boss has asked, my Lord has asked, I need to take it, whatever it may be. He completely lifts the mountain itself and takes it and gives it to him. That is the potential of subconscious mind, like Hanumanji. Okay, so we all have such potential. I would like to demonstrate to you now that the thoughts, the words, right, whatever you have in your mind, whatever you speak, whatever you can imagine with belief, it has the potential to become true. So if you have 2 minutes, my suggestion is, please, if I believe those of you, having free hands, take the hands please out. I hope I'm really clearly visible. In your hands, you will see a wrist line here, okay, in both hands. Try to align both the lines properly, perfectly, and bring your hands to Namaste position like this, okay? I give you a second. Once it is in the Namaste position, please see if your fingers are leveled and aligned. For some people, maybe one of their hands could be longer. One of their fingers, a few of the fingers in one hand could be longer. It's okay. But for most people, it will be aligned and it is of the same length, the fingers. So now what I'm trying, so if for those people who have one of their hands where the fingers are little longer than the other hand, I would suggest you to take the hand which has shorter fingers, in length. For those people, for other people, I suggest you take your left hand if you have equal finger lengths. So now you are going to repeat what I'm going to say, but with 100% faith, without any doubt, 100% faith. And really, you need to repeat it loud. If there are people sitting next to you who may laugh at you, excuse me, don't worry about them. But if it is going to be of disturbance, then you have to say within yourself. But try to speak it out loud with command, with power, and your subconscious mind has to listen what you're saying, okay? So we are going to instruct this hand to grow longer. And that is the only instruction, okay? As I say, please repeat with force. Grow longer. I am hearing what you're saying, so please make it louder. Grow longer. Just look at the hand and the fingers and say, grow longer, with full force and energy and your confidence and belief that it will happen. Grow longer. Grow longer. Repeat it as I say. It is important for the number of counts as well. Grow longer. Look at your hand and say, grow longer. Grow longer. Grow longer. Grow longer. Grow longer. Repeat it. Sound. Grow longer. And grow longer. And one more time. Grow longer. Now bring your two hands to the same aligned Namaste position with the lines aligned, and check if one of your hand's finger has grown than the other one, for those people who initially had aligned fingers, and for the others who had one hand already a little bit larger or longer, see at least now if both are of same level. I'm sure most of you would have seen one of your hands to grow. It is not magic. This is the power of your subconscious mind. I do not know if there is a chat window, if I have to see your acknowledgement. Please, if there is, yes, you can type yes, or at least few people who are in the host, maybe Professor Jivanand or Professor Sirish, Jose, you could take out your mic and share your experience for a quick second.
Yes, it is unbelievable, but it happened and I could experience what you said. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. So anybody else?
Yes, doctor, even I could experience that. My left hand fingers were quite taller than the right hand.
Wonderful. So thank you. For want of time, I will proceed. So you heard that it's not me who is doing any magic. I'm a webinar guy sitting here. It is you. You have unlimited potential. The physiology of your body responds to your kind of thoughts you have. then imagine the kind of stress if you have and go through how you are impacting your body, your organs, your cells, and your health, right? So if your subconscious mind is ruminating with negative thoughts and it comes to your conscious mind constantly, if you have an image of negativity or some kind of threat which does not even exist today, and you imagine that threat, all this kind of unnecessary stuff, honestly, it will kill your health itself, and your power of doing things is gone. So people will ask, oh, my hand, will it keep on growing longer and longer? So for those people, I have to say that yes, some people get afraid. I will try to get it back to normal. Please put your hands back to your position. We are going to give the command to the same hand to get back to normal. Please repeat it and you can check, it will become normal. But with 100% belief. For those people who do not have that belief, who are very logical, who are you let your conscious mind to play too much, it would not have happened. I promise you, you go to your home, relax and do it, it would have worked. Okay, let's try to bring it back so that I don't want you to go home with an elongated one hand and cause any trouble to you. So get back to normal. Command it powerfully. Get back to normal. 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 And last, get back to normal. Check it out now. At least I can see my fingers, my hands are come to the same level and length. I hope if you have done with proper instruction and belief, it would be the same for you as well. So this again is a simple example to show the power of your subconscious mind, but there is a lot more we can do. But with the webinar of limited 45 minutes, I am restricting to this demonstration. So now you know the power of words when you speak out. That's where we always say in our culture, astu means when you say something, say always good things because you do not know how it is becoming reality. So it is becoming reality through your own subconscious mind. When you believe and say something, it's always like that. When you're a father or a mother, when you say something to your child, be careful because a child subconscious mind is fully operational, conscious mind is less operational, especially when they look up to you as authority, as a guide, or as a mentor. Whatever you say, it goes into their mind. That's where you should not put negative seeds into their mind because they start to believe that and it starts to become their life. And then don't come after 15 years and say my child is behaving like that or not. You could have been the master of your child's destiny without your knowledge. So coming back to another thing, for example, when you wake up in the morning, often people say, okay, the day is going fine and all these things. But sometimes some people you would have seen, maybe they wake up by mistake, they would have woken up and they would have got hurt when they are walking. They could have hit on a wall by mistake and then it's so painful and they would say, oh my goodness, today the day itself is not good, in the morning I got hurt. And then they go to the bathroom, something get delayed, maybe the hot water is not working. Then they say, oh, today the geyser is not working. What a day, bad day today. Then this guy goes and tries to start the car. So unfortunately the car doesn't start and it starts later and he goes to the road, so much of traffic, and then he says, what a bad day today. Then he goes to the office, late to the meeting, and the professor and the boss says, "What is this? Why you're late?" What a bad day! He got some, the pull up from the boss, and then he has problems at office, so on and so forth. While coming back, he's always thinking about all the things that happened that day, which was not so pleasant. And suddenly, one auto wala or one another person comes and touches his car. He gets down out of the car. He is well dressed. He is driving a Benz car. But then he looks at the auto wala and shouts at the road, right? There is no emotional intelligence because the subconscious mind is programmed like that. And then he comes back home very tired, drained out. And by the way, he is a very rich guy with a Benz car, well-educated guy. IQ is good, conscious mind works great, but emotional intelligence is not so good. The subconscious mind not working fine. And while going to bed, he says to his wife, if he's not married, to himself, man, what a day today. It was bad day today. How did it all happen? Your own conscious making, your conscious mind constantly giving the feed to subconscious mind. Every time you said, my day is not good, my day is not good, you amplified that into reality, and exactly those words become a reality to you, and that became your experience. And similarly, I know a lot of parents who come and speak to me as a coach sometimes. Look, my son is naughty. My son is not listening to me. In front of the child, they say to me. Then I say, definitely he will not listen to you because you are programming like that. If you listen, if you constantly do that, obviously, what you will do, if he is doing 10 things that are right things, and you are just pointing out for those 1 or 2 things which he is not good at, obviously, you are programming him, oh, you are not good, you are not good. Next time, anyway, you will say, subconsciously, the signals will say, anyway, you are not valued, what you did, you are naughty boy, you are not a good boy, or something like that. If my mother is saying always this kind of things, what is the point? I don't want to even go and say what good things I am doing. So then he will start to say only few things. Out of those few things, definitely majority of it will be not so good things. And obviously the mother will say, look, this is what I said. You are always doing this bad stuff. It's not good. And over a period of time, his mind also operate in a way that anyway, I'm not valued. My mother is also not appreciating me. What's the point? Whether I do good or bad, doesn't matter. I will continue to do all these mistakes and his motivation levels will go down. The number of instances he will do mistakes will go up as a proportion. Finally, the reality, what was a statement becomes a reality that he really becomes a naughty child. And who made this to happen? And the same person will come and complain to me, this person is not a good child. So I say 90% of it could be your making, you correct your behavior. So it can be applied to your boss and customer, for between your and your customer relationship. If you are having a business, it could be between you and your subordinate. It could be between you and your wife or your spouse. Anything it may be, all these things are very true. It is equally applicable like any law. Okay, the powers of the subconscious mind. Here, because of want of time, I'm skipping about the powers of your conscious mind. Yes, the conscious mind, I can summarize, it can think, it can analyze, it can decide, and it can take actions. That's it. It has a wonderful IQ. It can solve mathematical problems. It can read a lot of books, understand. That's all fine. But I know a lot of people who went to the best universities, Harvard, Oxford, or it could be India's best institutes like IIT, IIM. It doesn't mean that they're all successful. It doesn't guarantee their success. Their IQ is extremely good. Even 2 days ago, I was hearing from somebody that, okay, he went to, he got IIT admission, but this gentleman denied going to IIT because he is not sure what he wants to do in his life, and he's so confused now, he's stuck. Can you imagine? Such a great IQ, but what is happening in the subconscious? So, and also I know, sorry to say, unfortunately, a lot of small children who are very well educated, when they become into the best possible levels, they take out their own lives without knowing what to do about their lives, even though their intelligence is good. So these are all unfortunate, but if their EQ is very good, if their subconscious mind is programmed in the right order, these kind of anomalies will not exist in this world, believe me. So now coming to the subconscious mind. The one more thing which I want to remind you about conscious mind is like a gatekeeper for the subconscious mind. Whatever it believes, it goes inside the subconscious. Whatever it doesn't believe, it doesn't go inside. So that's where it's easy to program a child, because the child believes whatever you say. If the child has the right mentor, nothing like that. But we adults, what happens to us? Of course, we have a lot of hindrances. That's why if we want to change our programs inside the subconscious mind, first of all, we need to shut off our conscious mind, and then, of course, there are techniques to do that, like meditation, relaxation techniques. I cannot cover all these things, or I cannot do that exercise now because of want of time. But there are techniques available. Once you reach that subconscious mind, then you can affirm, you can give wonderful, suggestions, auto suggestions to change your subconscious mind, to reprogram, to get the exact program that you want, at least the patchwork. In a laptop, if you have all kind of unworthy programs like virus and all these things, your laptop speed is going to go slow. Your battery will be drained. Same thing. If your subconscious mind is filled with so much of nonsense, unfortunately, if it is so, then it will drain out your energy. You cannot think clearly. Everything will be cluttered, and you will be so tired, and you cannot walk the life like a piece of cake, whereas it should be naturally a piece of cake. So look into those aspects and work on reprogramming. We will come to that point in a while. I just have another 5 to 10 minutes. I have a lot to cover. So there is a lot of power to create and attract with the help of your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind has a lot of wonderful mystical capabilities. You call it mystical, but it is innate in our intelligence. But unfortunately, very few people know how to tap it. I have personally seen people who can connect with souls, if they may exist, but higher energies, and they can exactly say what is going to happen tomorrow, today. I don't want to call them as foretellers, but even though they do, but more important here, they have extraordinary intuition, extraordinary clairvoyance, which we all have that. Remember that. But we have forgotten how to use it. I have already spoken about the interesting reasons about subconscious mind, which is so creative, so innovative. I don't want to say again. And it has something called telepathy. It has clairvoyance. You know, very simple. How many times you would have thought about somebody so much in a relaxed mind, oh, it would be nice to call that person, or it would be nice to speak to that person. Immediately, you would receive a call exactly from that person, right? It is not a simple experience. It is actually a powerful experience if you really look at the way you should look at. It is nothing but your mind, your subconscious mind, honestly believing and thinking about that thing. It goes out as a vibration, and immediately the other brain is picking up, because your mind is just like an energy transmitter. We all are energy bodies. We are vibrating. You can check the physics. The whole universe is vibrating. If the whole universe is vibrating, pulsating, creating energy signals, you are just a small, tiny speck of this universe. You are also, oscillating and vibrating. If you are vibrating and sending those signals through your thoughts, obviously the universe will pick up. Whoever is the right candidate will pick up those signals. They will respond. It will respond. That's where always in our culture we say, think positively, think the right things, do prayer, do meditation. Because in a prayer, if you are helping others or not, when you close your eyes and pray, it is a very deep connection to your own subconscious mind. It is an auto-suggestion. Your words are getting inside yourself positively. You are thinking positively. You are saying this. That's why when you wake up in the morning, we say pray, because that's the best moment. Your conscious mind is still not very active. Your subconscious mind is still active, and you can go directly deep into it. Similarly, before going to bed, you can do some nice auto-suggestions, because the time between your sleep, that is about to sleep with the closed eyes, and you fell asleep, that in-between period is a beautiful period. It's like a twilight period where your conscious mind is not working and the subconscious mind is active, and you put an auto suggestion throughout the night. It will work. That's where before going to bed, please don't look at your mobiles and so on and so forth. Look at something positive, think about something positive, and visualize what you want to achieve in your life, and go to bed. Your subconscious mind works 24 hours. Those seeds will start to germinate. The only thing you have to do is don't disturb the seed. Every time you have a kind of disbelief, every time you doubt your own goals, every time you doubt your own capabilities, you are digging the land and taking out the seed to see, oh, is my seed germinated or not? If you continuously do that, the seed is not going to sprout. The moment you seed in, you have to nurture it. And to nurture it, there are a lot of tools and techniques. A simple one could be affirmation you can do in the morning and evening, prayers that you can do, and visualization, and so on and so forth. Okay, I already mentioned about the EQ and IQ factor. EQ, your emotional intelligence, is completely under your subconscious mind. You're getting angry, you are not able to handle yourself, you are not able to relate with people. All these things are programming. It has come into you through some past deeds and actions of yourself, or unfortunately by attracting some people into your life. But believe me, don't think that it is all because of somebody else. It is all your own doing. You had that kind of vibration, that kind of thought somehow lurking deep inside. You attracted those kind of situations and people. So if you want to change, then it is only you can change, not by complaining to others, or complaining about others. It is only by changing your own programming you can attract the best possibilities in your life. So it means the most important thing, 100% responsibility you should take. If you play the card of a victim, being a victim, you will not find a solution. Once you accept that, yes, I did it, or it is happening through my own doing, then you become a powerful driver of your life, powerful driver of your destiny. Then you take your life in your hands. Once you realize that you can take the responsibility, you will work on changing your life. And that is where you will start to fix your programming. That is nothing but your subconscious mind, which is a hard disk with all your past experiences, belief systems, and value systems stored in there. So all negative and old beliefs, we need to take it out and program with the right kind of belief. And believe me, all your programs on health, relationships, money, self-image, everything is inside, right? If you feel constantly frustrated, if you have problems with your relationships, Everything is interlinked. Money not linked. You say that, okay, every month I get salary, but the end of the month I don't have money in my hand. It is your programming. So any program can be fixed, but if your self-image is ruined, it is a tough program to fix, but still it can also be fixed as long as the person is not in the path of suicide. So also we can save the person who is taking such kind of decisions if they meet us at the right time. Believe me, self-image is one thing you should not let it loose because that has a direct impact on everything else. I know a wonderful lady, very beautiful lady in a very good position in a company. She had only one problem, negative self-image. That was almost about to ruin her life to the extent that she was having suicidal thoughts and depressed. Can you imagine? Beautiful, educated, well-earning in a top company, MNC. How come this self-image came in? When I investigate, of course, I keep it anonymous, but you should need to know the story. She is a person was growing up in a family of four. She has a brother. Her view about her parents is just this, that the parents are giving more importance to the brother than her. So she started to develop a feeling of unwantedness from a very childhood, that my parents, my father and mother are not giving attention to me and they don't want me. I am an unwanted child. Probably I am an adopted child, something like that. These crazy ideas, it's nothing but our own perceptions. Everybody. So I have seen twin child, okay, two children looking alike, both are male or both are female, brought up by the same parents, have different kind of mindset because it is not the parents did something different to those child. It is because the child's perception about the parents was different. Everybody have their own views. You will have a view about a person, another person will have a view about the same person which is different to yours. So it means anybody can have views, perceptions. We cannot control that, but only you can control your own perception. You have the control of how to program your subconscious mind. The moment she had this kind of thoughts that she is not wanted, constantly ruminating on that, she grew up like that, to the extent that if somebody in the school would not appreciate her, she would think that she is not a wanted person. If somebody in a team says that, oh, you are not part of our team, the kids say, right, in playing, sometimes it happens. Then she says, yeah, true, I am not wanted. She became like this, and then she goes to the workplace. She has extraordinary potential. There in the team, she is not able to gel because the team leader, if he appreciates somebody in the team for doing good job, that appreciation itself, she feels that she is not appreciated, she is unwanted. Obviously, you can imagine how she would behave with the team lead, how she would behave with her colleagues. All these things affected her. Thanks for the reminder for our last 5 minutes. I will try to close it. Affected her the thought process, and obviously, she had a lot of problems in work relationships. And then when she had a boyfriend, also had a problem with that person, because if the boyfriend is appreciating that person, is great, but in front of her, if that person even says nice thing about some other lady, done. She feels that she is rejected. So it affected her life to the extent that money, health, everything got affected. The moment we got to know, we had to fix that. By fixing that, now she's having a better everything, health, relationships, and money. So I also do conduct workshops just on money, because money is one thing which affects everything else also, relationships and health. Financial freedom is so important in this world to live the life that you want to live. Many people have passions. Many people want to do something else in their life, but they're stuck. They feel so much stuck. But you can get out of this. You have the potential, you have the power, and you can make a lot of money. You can attract abundance. Only thing is we need to have the right program. So I skipped the slide. This is to show what kind of emotions, what kind of subconscious programming can cause what kind of problems. This is based on a beautiful book by Louise Hay. She has cured a lot of patients, cancer patients, just by making them to forgive their own past mistakes and asking them to forgive others' mistakes in their life. In fact, she was actually raped when she was a child. She had cancer as well. She cured herself, and she cured so many cancer patients. The moment you hold resentment and you hold guilt about yourself, which is not you would have done some mistakes in the past, or you have resentment about somebody who would have done bad things to you, believe me, they are not suffering. You are the one who are suffering. You are killing your own health. Just let that all go. I'm not asking you to forget what they did. I'm asking you to forgive them, because when you understand that you are the creator of your own world, Somehow you attracted them in your life. Somehow you created or attracted those situations. So forgive them, let loose of all the things. And another important technique that I'm going to say to you to have a wonderful vibration in your life is to have the power to tap the power of gratitude and appreciation. So mind is like a transmitter. I told you, your mind is nothing but thoughts, words, and images, and these things create feelings. Feelings are nothing but the emotions which will powerfully transmit the vibration. Any thought without feelings is not worthy. If you want something, you should really feel strongly whether how you would feel about it when you have that thing. If you do that, the vibration is how the universe speaks. This is how the frequency match happens. Then you start to attract the right people, even situations, ideas, and so on and so forth into your life. So if you have the positive vibrations, then you attract all the things positive towards you. How you can operate in that positive frequency? One simple exercise. I give it as a take home for you today. This one thing you do, please. If you forget about all the other things, every day in the morning for 7 minutes, take a notebook, nice notebook, and write gratitude. I would write, I am deeply grateful and thankful to God for giving me this wonderful body. Right? A great gift. How many of you know how to engineer a body today? A great thing. How you can, if you look at the heart and kidneys and so on and so forth, how it is happening, it's a miracle. You are gifted with such a great asset. Your mind, how it is working, so much you can release about this world because of that, this body and mind. Are you thankful about it? Are you thankful about the air that you breathe, which is a free thing for you? No crores of rupees can give you that, right? Can you thank the water that you drink every day? Can you thank your parents for what they have provided? Can you thank your university or your workplace or your business for making you to be successful or providing you food? So you can be thankful for so many things in this world if you really look at with clarity. So I strongly suggest write this gratitude. With the gratitude, you appreciate things. With appreciation, automatically you are in a state of peace of mind and joy. When you're in a state of joy, you are automatically at peace. When you are at peace, you get the best things that you get, that you can really dream of. And with gratitude, you always emit that powerful appreciation and gratitude vibrations to the universe, which will attract more things towards you for which you will be much more thankful for. That's a great cycle to be in. So guilt and resentment, everything, please throw it away. If you are suffering, it is not so easy for you to get out of that thought pattern. There are simple tools and techniques that I normally teach in workshops on a 1 or 2 day process, which will definitely help you as well. So finally, in short, you can achieve any goal, you can solve any problem, and live a successful and happy life. And when I say success, unlimited success. And another thing, for me, success is not about just money. It's holistic, relationship, health, wealth, happiness, and being empowered and doing what you want to do in this life. Everything makes together a holistic success. You can achieve that. You have lot of potential to achieve that. And for that, only 3 conditions: the burning desire, clarity of what you want, 100% belief, correct internal programming needs to be done, and finally, you can speed the manifestation. You can attract and manifest what you want through the intensity of your positive vibrations through the positive programming. So with this, I would like to leave you with a thought: whatever you believe and feel for is very important. Emotions is what you will see in your life and what you will create in your life. So I have few more slides, but I skipped that. Last, I can play 1 minute video or 2 minutes maybe. Just give me a minute, and then with that we close the session from my side. So could somebody acknowledge if you can listen to the audio? If not, I will check it out.
Yes, we can hear it.
Okay. So here are some of the greatest people who have achieved great things. This Mao, he built a strong nation. He's a peasant. He's a farmer. This is Michael Jackson, was born in a poor family, but he achieved also a lot of things. He became a superstar. is Pele, a great football player. It comes from a slum. You know, Sachin Tendulkar, from a normal family. This is a great Muhammad Ali, boxer, champion of champions. This is Rowling, J.K. Rowling, who wrote Harry Potter. This is the owner of Walt Disney. He was a truck driver. He created Mickey Mouse. You know this person? He can't even move, but he traveled to space. An untouchable, B.R. Ambedkar. A common man, Mahatma Gandhi. He became the father of the nation. He was a normal man, but he pulled so many people. Dhirubhai Ambani. And Lance Armstrong, Oprah Winfrey, Bill Gates, Nelson Mandela, Genghis Khan. They all were just someone until they believed they can be more. So, do you have a dream? There's just one life, and you can achieve whatever you want. So, you have the potential and power unlimited to achieve unlimited success. So, please tap it. With that note, I close this session and open it for questions. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you, Dr. Venkat. This was a very unusual and significant webinar. We all experienced the power of what you're saying, even if it was a short while. So one question is, what is the relationship between heart, mind, and soul? Which is more powerful for unleashing success?
Okay, heart, mind, and you mentioned soul, right?
Soul,
so,
yes.
Okay, so we don't really touch upon the concept of soul now because it's a thing where people, they don't have it in their own, what you call the feeler itself. But when you get into the deep domains of spirituality, people speak about soul. And for me, a soul or that power is nothing but it is the deepest layers of your mind, subconscious mind itself. There are something called subconscious, superconscious, and supreme conscious. The layers of mind can go down like that. That supreme consciousness is nothing but your soul itself, because you can tap to that source energy. And as I said, when I've seen people who can talk to souls and energies and angels, which you'll be surprised how it is possible, but I have seen to myself with a lot of details about things which you cannot even fathom about. That's where I started to see, yes, it exists, but you, through your own supreme consciousness, through your own super conscious mind or subconscious deepest layers, you can get access to that. Whereas for a normal human beings, let us take subconscious mind itself has enormous potential, and you can achieve a lot of things by tapping that source. That's for sure. So what else are you asked?
No, the next question is about whether you could list a few techniques to overcome negative self-esteem.
Yeah. Just 1 second. So for negative self-esteem, there is a powerful technique that we do in the workshop, but we cannot do it at this point in time given the time. But if you can affirm yourself, but first you should start to relax yourself. These slides I could not show you. If you can tap your subconscious mind, that you can do when you are in a relaxed state, whether you are waking up in the morning or about to sleep in the night. These two moments, like twilight moments, are very good moments where you are really awake, and off asleep. This is a moment where you are really directly in touch with your subconscious. Whatever you imagine and visualize at that time directly goes into your subconscious mind. But you have to do with a powerful belief that it is already happening in your life. For example, you have a negative belief that you will lose your job or whatsoever, let's say. You are always constantly having that kind of anxiety. But in the morning, just when you're waking up, visualize that you have a wonderful job. Don't worry that whether it is from this company or another company. Forget about it. You have a great job. You have a job security. You see that many people want you. You are achieving those goals that you set, and everything is going smooth. But when you do this visualization, really see the picture, affirm yourself that you are capable of achieving, everything will be fine. And of course, with belief, with that positive feelings, because vibration is the one which will attract the things. In addition to that, if you can also develop the habit of meditation, it will be good, because meditation is nothing but the art of allowing. Often the conscious mind is resisting what you can receive from the energy source or God whatsoever. If you don't believe in God, we call it as a source or the creation. But the moment you do meditation, the thoughts subside, automatically a lot of resistance comes down. You can also receive so much from there as well. So affirmation and relaxation, affirmation and visualization is what I would say could be useful for you to program to start with.
Thank you so much, Dr. Venkat. On behalf of the School of Business and Management, I thank you for your very valuable contribution by a short webinar. We will come back to you later on for session in person probably, and you've shared your contact details as well. I hope some of us will be able to take advantage of that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I would like to close a note saying that I would be doing money, mind, and mission workshops in the coming month. So if anybody is interested here, they can note down this number and let me know through WhatsApp or by mail or call, and I can let them know when I'm planning. But I am looking for a crowd of at least 20. So because I'm not really looking for bigger crowds, if it comes, it's great. For me, the message should go to many people and it help them. As of today, I'm not dependent on this work for my living, but I want to really empower lives, and slowly I want to do this for more people as well. Thank you for this opportunity to the Christ University, the management, Professor Jivanand, Professor Sirish, Mr. Jose, Professor Kavita, and many more people who are in this audience whom I do not know their names. Thank you, because your energy is pulsating and I can feel it. You're all positive people. Go and achieve a lot more than what you are today. Thank you so much.